Now when we are looking at alternatives to R22, so when I say that today you cannot design equipment with R22 because manufacturing of new equipment is not allowed anymore in most countries, what are the refrigerants that you will use? So for that we need to look at available refrigerants, and some of this is related to what is today likely to be used. So HFC 32 is being considered by some companies for light commercial applications. So and HFC 32 is a component of 410A, which is a refrigerant which is most used for residential air conditioning systems as a replacement to R22, and the concern about R410A is the global warming potential. So HFC 32 is a component of that, and the reason there is another component in that azeotropic mixture is to get it to a lower an acceptable safety classification of A1. So here in this slide what you see is comparison with HCFC 22 or R22 if you go by the refrigerant nomenclature. So all these refrigerants could give us a comparable theoretical cycle volumetric efficiency at 40, but then as the temperature goes up, and this is condensing temperature, as it goes up, as it would happen in high ambient conditions, then there will be either a penalty. So in some cases we will see a drop in performance. So when you need more air conditioning, you are seeing either slight or significant drop in performance. In some cases you could see a benefit. All that is tabulated here. And then more importantly, since we are talking about global warming, what happens to the COP? So if we were to compare with a baseline of R22 at temperatures of 40 to 70, then we can see HFC 32 comes in fairly close, but there is a penalty of 3% at 60 degrees centigrade and 5% at 70 degrees centigrade. Now the 70 is more relevant for Middle East conditions in a big way, and small instances of high ambient temperatures, like if you look at some conditions of temperatures in Bikaner or Hisar, you would see ambient temperature going up to 50 degrees centigrade. Now in those conditions, if you are going to maintain a 10 degree to 20 degree temperature difference, then you will strike somewhere between 60 and 70 for the condenser. Also there could be conditions which would lead to blocked condensers, partially blocked condensers, and therefore the condition would reach 70 degrees centigrade. So it's important to keep this in mind, that when you have the most demand for air conditioning, what is happening because of change of refrigerant, and for that you may then choose to design a larger heat exchanger, more efficient heat exchanger, or use a different technology in heat exchangers like we discussed. So we looked at microchannel heat exchangers. So for a lower cost we could use aluminium to aluminium heat exchangers and get a larger heat transfer. So now we come to refrigerant safety, and in refrigerant safety let's look at two elements separately. One is toxicity. So the toxicity, there is a classification of toxicity based on whether toxicity has or has not been identified at concentrations of less than 400 ppm by volume, and it is based on data used to determine threshold limit value. So there are two classifications. So one is no chronic toxicity effects have been observed below 400 ppm, and class B is there is toxicity observed below 400 ppm. So implications of this are for people who are involved with manufacturing, people who are involved with testing, people who are involved with servicing and installation. What would happen to those people if they were exposed to such concentrations that may easily happen when there is handling of refrigerant at these places. And then there is a flammability classification. There is a flammability classification based on ignition, lower flammability limit, heat of combustion, a whole lot of parameters. So what are the three classes of flammability? So class 1 is that there is the refrigerant shows no flame propagation when tested in air at 60 degrees at standard atmospheric pressure. So R12, R22, these are examples of refrigerants that have no risk of such a flame propagation, and therefore they are categorized as class 1. This was one of the main reasons why DuPont had big business until the 90s, because these were reliable, robust refrigerants with no flammability issues and toxicity issues. Class 2L is a new class. Earlier there was just class 1, class 2 and class 3, and then the need for looking for alternative refrigerants led different companies to reach a point where they could not get class 1 refrigerants which had low global warming, comparable to ammonia or comparable to CO2. So there was a need to look at the level of risk that flammability of class 2 refrigerant poses. So there was a new level created between 1 and 2, which is 2L. And this is with a laminar burning velocity of less than 0.1 meter per second. So the flame propagation, if it is not too rapid, it is considered low risk in comparison to a refrigerant where there is rapid flame propagation. So therefore, this new classification. Again, there are parameters for testing it, and then there is also a low flammability limit, and then also linked to the heat of combustion. So I leave it more for the chemical guys to look at it more thoroughly, but there is a standard which allows us to evaluate a refrigerant for its flammability. And class 3 refrigerants are refrigerants like propane, and they exhibit flame propagation when tested at 60 degrees and atmospheric pressure, and have an LFL at or lower than 3.5% by volume. And they have a heat of combustion which is greater than or equal to 19,000 kilojoules per kg. So if we put aside the numbers, a very different way of relating to refrigerants is the safest from a flammability perspective are class 1 refrigerants. Then comes the class 2L, and R32 is one of the refrigerants which falls into that class. It was a refrigerant which was given up earlier because there was no real reason for people moving to low global warming potential refrigerants. So there was already a formulation available, 410A, which was class 1. And then when 2L became available, some people, and specifically one company, Daikin, became aware that they have this patent for a refrigerant that can be used, and that can be used in air conditioning. So they saw a business opportunity, and then there has been some negotiation around the patent, and I'm told they are willing to give up the exclusive patents for that to make this R32 refrigerant widely available for design. They still would retain an edge because they mastered the optimization and design of equipment with R32, but it is also one of the promising alternatives where refrigerant safety can be managed with proper training. They've also sold some units in India with this refrigerant as a way to prove that it is feasible to use this. Now, it is another matter that we must all be aware of is in India we don't have a very well regulated safety environment for air conditioners. So just like we have a mandatory compliance for energy efficiency ratio, we don't have a mandatory compliance for flammability of refrigerants or toxicity of refrigerants, and that is some work that needs to be done, and there are some forums where there is topic is being discussed, but it is yet to see maturity. It's important to voice some of these concerns when you are in a place where you can exert influence on the authorities, you talk to people, because overall each one of us is impacted either sometimes directly or indirectly by these limitations. So let's say today you go and buy an air conditioner, and if you don't have this thorough knowledge about standards and about risks of refrigerant toxicity, you might easily buy a propane air conditioner, and someone might use an opportunity to just do a trial, and it may work fine for many years until there is a leak. And if the leak were to happen at a time when you are asleep, think about what can happen. If there was a standard, it would govern what room size, what size of appliance, what charge quantity can be there. And the risk becomes severe when there is a leakage, and then you wake up and you switch on the light, and that spark causes an explosion. So these are some of the very, very real risks to life and property that we must keep in mind, and that is where there is a relevance of safety standards, and most companies would adhere to them on their own voluntarily because they have exposure in other countries. But the key point is that there isn't a legal framework for making it mandatory yet. If we want to take care of ozone and if we want to take care of global warming together, we will have to deal with a certain degree of flammability of refrigerants. And for that reason, we will need to be responsible, we meaning people who are going to be designing and people who are going to be manufacturing, and people who are going to be servicing, and to an extent the users also. कोई और option नहीं है. So did we touch upon lower flammability limit? Perhaps indirectly, right, in one of the slides. But where does it find application? How much of refrigerant can we have in the system? We are all familiar with LPG, right? What happens if there is a certain quantity released, and what is the mitigating step? So there is one of the things is we can detect it because there is a certain odor associated with the leakage, so we become alert to it, and then we take precautions. So while going to sleep or leaving on a long vacation, you shut off valves, and then you have enough number of valves to take care of any untoward incident. So similarly, we need to look at some ways of sensors and all that, but at the same time we also need to look at what can potentially get released into the room. So the example that I was sharing with you before we took a break, how much of refrigerant is there in the room, and will it be close to the lower flammability limit if the entire refrigerant got leaked into the room where you are sleeping? Now if that quantity was going to be below the lower flammability limit, then when you switch on the electricity, if there is a spark, there will be no explosion, there will be no fire. So that is one way of addressing safety in an appliance, by ensuring that the quantity of refrigerant in the appliance is below the low flammability limit if it were to be inadvertently released into the room. Then about toxicity exposure limit, again this is to do more with the human body and what levels of ppm will lead to some degree of damage or concern. So acute toxicity exposure limit, ATEL, I find it hard to remember also, but still it is something I have to learn to understand and be responsible for. So it is based on mortality in terms of LC50, which is another standard, and or cardiac sensitization and or anesthetic or central nervous system effects. So now there is concern, right, like humans can be impacted because of toxicity in refrigerants. And then there is a oxygen deprivation limit. 20% of the lower flammability limit is a practical limit, and then oxygen deprivation happens when something like CO2 displaces all the oxygen in a room, and then there is a problem. And finally, if we merge flammability and toxicity, then we will come to a single representation. So the first letter representing toxicity and the second letter representing flammability. So we would end up having refrigerants with a classification A1, A2, L, A2 and A3 as one category, which are not toxic but have varying degrees of flammability, with the A1 refrigerant having no flammability. And then there would be the ones which are toxic, and the B1 having no flammability, and the B2, L, B2 and B3 being the ones which have flammability in varying degrees as per the standard. When we are designing a product, we normally have to comply with the standard. So we would also need to be aware of those standards, which we will come to in a minute. Now we talked about what is the permissible charge limit, and here are some representative numbers for refrigerant charge for A1 category of refrigerants. So A1 category of refrigerants are refrigerants that were used like HCFC 22 or R22. Then we have 134A, which is a replacement for R12 and been used widespread in refrigerators as a part of the phase out of ozone depleting substances. And here you can see, so 11.3 kg is the permissible charge. So when something is safe, we can have a higher charge amount in the product. This does not mean we must have this, but this is a limit. So a typical air conditioner today will have something like 800 grams. A 1.5 ton residential air conditioner will have 0.8 kg of refrigerant. It could vary up and down depending on efficiency and heat exchanger size. Then we have 404A, 407C, R410A and R744. All of them are in the A1 category. So this is the most preferred region of refrigerant classification. If we were to have a choice, then we would use refrigerant from this category. And there you can see limits other than CO2, which is 744 is 3.8, all of them have very high permissible limits. And then you can see max charge in open air or machinery room. So this becomes important for chillers and for large systems where there is a separate room where the equipment is installed. So it could be package air conditioners, it could be chillers, or typically referred to as plant room. So there is no limit. When you have A1, there is no limit on that quantity. And then max charge for a ventilated enclosure. So now these differentiations are there because there is a need to use flammable refrigerants. If we were talking about this whole thing 10 years earlier, we would not be looking at it in such detail because the pressure for responsible use of refrigerant wasn't there so much. So now let's look at A2L. So R32 or HFC 32, and what does it mean? Practical charge limit, which is in grams per meter cube, is 61. What is the allowable charge in an occupied space? So 15 square meters of occupied space, what is the permissible charge? And you can see that drop from R22 11.3 kg, it comes to 1.3 to 4.9 kg. So that is a constraint, but still does not prevent use of R32 in residential systems up to 1.5 kilowatt. And then what happens? Max charge in an occupied space, occupancy A, there is a category defined there, and it is 12. Then we look at A2 refrigerants. I'm not going through all refrigerants, I'm just giving you a sense. So when you go to A2, which is higher flammability than A2L, then we are looking at limits of 0.5 to 1.7 kg for an occupied space, same occupied space. And then we look at hydrocarbons. So 600A, 290, so butane, propane, and HC1270, all of them are in the region of 0.1 to 0.3. So the highest flammability means we further have restrictions on the amount of refrigerant that can be there in a system. Then we look at the standards that are applicable. So what are the international standards that you can refer to when designing equipment if you are concerned about refrigerant safety? So there is an IEC standard 60335-2-24. Then there is for domestic refrigerators, this is the one to use. Commercial refrigeration, there are 3 standards in fact, and you have 2 standards for industrial and transport refrigeration. There is something under development, and particularly in India, if you had a choice between different standards, you would refer to the ISO. And normally reading the standard will also give you insight at the design stage itself when you're conceiving the product as to what are the things to be taken care of so that you don't run into compliance issues when the product is ready for launch. Now, if we look at refrigerant safety, we've talked about 2 things: flammability, toxicity. The third risk is pressure. So thicker materials, and what would we do when there is high pressure? So tube thickness is one easy way for us to address issues related to tube bursting. So if you are using heat exchangers, the thickness of the wall thickness, the minimum wall thickness would be one of the criteria that would be influenced by refrigerants which have high pressure. And then additional use of pressure relief devices or pressure limiting devices. So when you think of high pressure, the refrigerant that comes to my mind always is CO2. So CO2 means handling high pressures, and it is challenging. So a lot of places where CO2 can be thermodynamically used, it is not used because of challenges of high pressure that CO2 requires us to handle. Then high competencies for workers involved in construction of components and assemblies. So when there is high pressure, there is also a tendency to look for the least cost approach. Now when we look at least cost approach, we would look at a certain factor of safety over the burst pressure. Having done that, then we are going to be handling those tubes. We are going to be bending them. So these processes, if they lead to wall thickness compromise, so if you look at bending a hairpin, right, you're twisting metal. If your outer layer has gone thinner and you've crossed the safety limit, there is a risk. And the risk is during periods of high pressure, you will just have a major quantity of refrigerant leak. In some cases, it could be damaging to things nearby. Then greater toxicity. So we have seen how toxicity classification happens. Now if you're using a toxic refrigerant in some particular case, what would you do to mitigate that risk? So first is quantity of refrigerant in occupied spaces has to be limited. Both manufacturing, service, installation, it requires training. So it's to do with competency. And then if we have choices, we would not install such equipment in areas which are heavily populated. We would also deploy technology in a way that, so if there is a leak, if we had the means to detect the leak and take corrective action. So let's say leak is on the condenser side, which is a high pressure side. Within the system there is high pressure, but the highest pressure would be in the condenser side. We could shut down the system, we could do a planned maintenance. So that is how a leak detector would help. In other cases it would mean proactive service, and then personal protective equipment. When there is a leak, we need people to be able to address it. So some people need to go in close proximity to a toxic refrigerant. So you need personal protective equipment, which could consist of a mask, gloves, or any other equipment that would make sure that there is no risk to human life. Flammability we have touched upon already, but then this is all about limits on quantity of refrigerant, about detection again, alarms, and emergency ventilation. So sometimes if you know that there is a leak, if you can throw out all the gas without any risk of flammability or explosion, then that's one easy way of mitigating it. And then we limit the items that could be acting as a source of ignition. So one of the sources of ignition is the terminal block in a compressor where a spark can happen. You need 3 conditions for a flame to exist. So you need flammable gas, you need oxygen, and you need a spark. So the 3 can happen in a system which has flammable refrigerant if there is a leak and there is a spark and there is oxygen from the air. So how do we limit such a case? And then of course not everyone who will come in contact with such appliances will be aware that there is a flammable gas. So technicians who are used to using safe refrigerants need to prepare for making use of slightly flammable or flammable refrigerants. So proper labeling, so that when they come in contact with equipment for servicing and installation, they are aware of the risk and handle it accordingly. Some of the other things to consider are, let's say there is a fire in a building and then the refrigerant used in the air conditioners is a flammable refrigerant. We would need to address that building a very different way. So fire safety has to be taken care of. And one of the main reasons why China did not endorse use of flammable refrigerants was that they wanted their fire department to first certify that they will be able to handle an emergency situation in a multi-story apartment complex which would have flammable refrigerant. So this was one of the things coming out of it. In this slide I think we have more or less covered all the points. At the design stage we would just put it into a risk assessment plan that we have mitigated all potential risks of. Alright, so a risk assessment plan is something we will touch upon when we look at qualification of products. So when we use a flammable refrigerant or a toxic refrigerant, during the qualification phase of a product launch, we do tests to make sure that whatever is needed for safe application of the product is done right. So we establish proof, evidence, we do tests, we look at labeling, we look at all the protective measures that can be put in, including leak detection if needed. Now let's look at some of the industry work that is in process for refrigerants. So there is a search for newer refrigerants because no single refrigerant has been found which meets all the requirements. When we look at a refrigerant which has 0 ODP and low GWP, we find that it is flammable. Sometimes highly flammable, sometimes mildly flammable, but it is flammable. And then synthetic refrigerant, people who work on synthetic refrigerants, companies like DuPont, Honeywell, are looking for molecules that can address low global warming and 0 ozone depleting potential with substances that will allow us acceptable values of coefficient of performance. The search of course is a trade-off between cost, safety, energy efficiency and limiting the need for redesign. If you were in the industry, you would find a lot of refrigerant manufacturers coming with a claim that take this refrigerant, you can just use it as a drop-in. So you remove R22, put this refrigerant in and you will get sometimes better performance. So that is ideal, From a design perspective, we need not do anything. But they do not stand scrutiny. Those claims do not stand scrutiny when they are put into a lab environment. They have something which is not explicitly stated. Now there is a need to look at old refrigerants in a fresh way. The moment we start accepting flammability, then we start looking at ammonia a different way, we start looking at hydrocarbons in a different way, because we are putting in design measures to handle those refrigerants. And then there is also market complexity that will come up. Earlier a window air conditioner would mean R22 if it was a product that you purchased beyond 87. Before that it was R12, just two refrigerants. Now we are looking at hydrocarbons, we are looking at R32 and we are looking at some newer molecules, and of course there is R410A. So there is complexity where there is confusion possible in the market where the skill level is not very high. Now in the long run the number of candidates is likely to fall, but today it is too early to say whether it will be the synthetic refrigerants or substances like ammonia and CO2 or hydrocarbons that will be the mainstay. In domestic refrigerators, the move has been to 600A, and HFC 134A, which was used earlier, is now being phased out for reasons of global warming. And there is no problem there because the charge limit is not exceeded. So we have small charge quantities, and there is often an example that the amount of gas you have in a gas lighter which you carry in your pocket is comparable to what you have in the domestic refrigerator or some multiples thereof. So there is no concern. US, which was finding it most difficult to approve hydrocarbons for use in refrigerators, is also accepted. Now their standard allows use of hydrocarbons in refrigerators. And US I mentioned because of the liability concerns there. If there is any problem with damage, then the company is sued and there could be damages which would amount to millions of dollars. So with that we can say that for domestic refrigerators all issues seem to have been addressed, and we can have refrigerators which have zero ODP and acceptable GWP, or in fact very low GWP. There is of course a new molecule HFC 1234YF which is under investigation, and the costs are so high that it has not become used widely. The argument in favor of developing a new molecule is that people have not given up the aspiration to have something as safe as R12 or R134A, while simultaneously addressing the ozone and global warming concerns. Now what's happening on chillers? R22 has been phased out in developed countries, but still continues to be used in Article 5 countries. So Article 5 countries refers to developing countries where there is some funding available for phasing out of refrigerants. And here again the long-term scenario is not so clear. There are new molecules being considered, being tested, but which way the industry will finally move is not certain. This really is an opportunity also. If you were to be getting into this field, the opportunities for engineers in R&D today is more because of these challenges, the twin challenges of meeting ozone depleting potential and global warming with newer systems, molecules. If you have a new refrigerant, you will have to put in a lot of testing, a lot of design effort to meet the EER, COP numbers, as well as having reliable systems. So a huge amount of work opens up for engineers because of these changes that are mandated almost now. Commercial refrigeration. So when you talk about commercial refrigeration, what comes to your mind? Large systems where we maintain low temperatures for preservation of food. So hydrocarbons and CO2 are prime candidates, and where temperatures are high, then using cascade system becomes one of the considerations. In supermarkets in Europe, two-stage CO2 systems are recognized as viable option, especially in moderate temperature, because the temperature there allows for CO2 to be accepted in a single stage. For hot climates, cascade with ammonia would be one of the options. Industrial systems, ammonia continues to be, you remember the nomenclature, right? 700 plus the weight, molecular weight. So 717 is ammonia. And HFCs are technically feasible for large industrial systems. The market sector is very cost sensitive. See, when the new molecule is developed, all the R&D dollars that have gone into developing that molecule, the company wants to recover through sale, and initial pricing is prohibitive, and air conditioning is a very price sensitive market. So keep that in mind. Transport refrigeration, again, 744. So 744 means what? Hydrocarbons and HFC blends. So various challenges are preventing them from widespread use. So transport is primarily, rail and ship and all that, container refrigeration. There is another unique cooling method that is being considered, and I got exposure to that in one of the conferences in Delhi last week, and that is making use of solar power for cooling containers that are exposed, and then using a substance which is a phase change material. So you can store cooling, so you can create additional cooling when there is sun or when you have access to power, and then the panels inside the container will just keep taking care of the load. Because if you have good insulation together with some phase change material, you don't need an active refrigeration source. So that is one other way of looking at things. And then a newer thing is I came across a Dearman engine concept, which the University of Birmingham is working on, which is if you have stored cooling available somewhere, can you use that both for cooling as well as to drive an engine? So the opportunity for that comes in because of liquefied petroleum gas being transported. So when you liquefied petroleum, we have cooled it down, and then when you want to reuse it when it reaches the destination, that cooling is available, that stored cooling is available. So what do we do with it? So one of the things is if that could be used gainfully and therefore offset the energy that would be needed to create that level of refrigeration. So those are opportunities. Then things that are closer to what we see and what we use, air-to-air heat exchangers and heat pumps. So HCFC 22 is widely used in India. We continue to have production, though the production levels are capped, but no new products will be launched with R22. Products that are already there are limits. So companies can produce products with R22. It continues to be used. Newer systems make use of R410A, and then there are attempts made to look at propane and HFC 32. Here again there is a search for the ideal molecule. It hasn't been found yet. We don't know what some company comes up with, and there is always an opportunity. But the chemists, if we were to consult them and if they were to look at a spectrum of what is possible with the different molecules that have traditionally been used for refrigeration and air conditioning, they don't see much hope. Unless we accept a certain level of flammability, we will have a global warming impact. So that is vehicle air conditioning. HFC 134A is in widespread use and seems to be there for some time because of safety concerns. Vehicle manufacturers are not accepting hydrocarbons in vehicles, even though we use fuel, but then there are considerations onto where the hydrocarbon would be when an accident happens, or what kind of risk of explosion is there. So they have a very, the automobile organizations are very organized and have rigorous test standards. They have not been able to find a way to approve use of flammable refrigerants yet. And there are some new refrigerants, so 1234YF and CO2, these are the two refrigerants which are being considered. One of the manufacturers has announced that they will be using CO2 in their vehicle air conditioning systems. What else? So that automobile manufacturer is a German OEM, and in this year they will start manufacturing CO2 based air conditioning systems for their vehicles. So that is a new trend. And 1234YF I mentioned before already. and the long term scenario is not yet clear. So what comes out of different initiatives and different companies for vehicle air conditioning will determine what will finally be the mainstream. Now we will go through some of the properties of refrigerants, and the whole idea is for you to become aware of, for example, their chemical formulation and things like boiling point. All the parameters that we were discussing in the beginning when we were going to choose a refrigerant are presented here. We need not go through each of them line by line, but you need to have an appreciation that this is data, and this data is coming from one of the technical options committee of UNEP. It is open data, you can have access to it. I probably will send you a link to it so that each of you can download, and it is much more exhaustive than the information that I've used in my slides. It gives you a full overview of the refrigerant scenario globally. It is also a very good reference point to take data. So when you're looking for global warming potential or ozone depleting potential or the boiling points, it is a very credible source, because industry experts have come together, they have reviewed, and they've been reviewed several times before this document was published. So as a designer, you must have access to and have a copy with yourselves, and this is open to public. So no proprietary rights or any kind of limits on use. So here we can look at R11, 12, 13, they are all now history. Then R22 or HCFC 22 is going to be history soon, but we will see it being used for products that were already in production before 2017. R32 or HFC 32 is an emerging refrigerant, and then there are a few others. So this was methane series, and then we have the ethane series. Ethane would mean 2 carbon atoms and then different molecules around how many fluorine, chlorine and hydrogen atoms are there. And notable here is HFC 134A, which is a replacement for R12 and has been used in domestic refrigerators. Now we have another 10 minutes, and I also want to use some time for your assignment. So one thing is, I'll take 2 minutes, just quickly take you through. You've got an idea. These slides will be made available to you. Better still, I would make available that link to the TOC report, so you can have access to it. It's one place where you can look at all the refrigerants that are in use, where they are being used, all that. So single component refrigerants like the inorganic compounds. So here is a list of that as well. And then you also see what refrigerant is, what is the trend, when it was introduced, what happened to it, what is replacing it, all that is there in the subsequent slides. So here you can see a full spectrum of refrigerants, and real systems, when we are designing systems, we need to start thinking a little different. So not COP but energy efficiency ratio. So we saw that we don't have the ideal reverse Carnot cycle in systems. So we will have some compression that will happen only in the superheated region, that will lead to some inefficiency. We will have delta T between the ambient and the refrigerant, that will lead to some penalty, and therefore our EER will, COP will come down. But other than that, there are things like compressor motor efficiency, power used by fans and blowers, which will bring down the COP. So when you're looking at numbers closer to 5.5, they moving towards 3.7 or 3.5 happens because there is more power being used by different elements, and we are losing inefficiency because of compression in the superheated region. And you can look at the Carnot cycle and the vapor compression cycle, and you will notice where that is being done. We've discussed that in our previous lectures. We also can look at how much work that was possible to recover in the expansion process is lost, because we give that up for simplification and for reasons of lowering the initial cost. But you need to have an idea of it, so that if you're designing a big system, you might want to recover and get the energy efficiency ratio up. So heat exchanger, delta T we have discussed. Pressure drops. So pressure drops are going to happen. Compressor, suction and discharge valves, piping, heat exchanger tubes, circuiting that we do, all that is going to have a penalty, and that's going to lead to inefficiencies. And when we're looking at designing efficient systems, then we will begin with the least delta T in the heat exchangers, and we will optimize, of course, with cost and space and size available, and we look at air resistance in the heat exchangers, which is going to indirectly influence the fan power. So what fin spacing are we going to use, how many rows we are going to use, what are the benefits you're getting in terms of approach to the ambient temperature or the temperature of air being cooled. And then charge optimization. So I think charge optimization is an important part of the system delivering what it is designed for. So we design a good heat exchanger, we design a good a set of piping, expansion device selection and compressor selection, but finally if we don't have the right charge quantity, what's going to happen? Too low a charge quantity means some part of the evaporator surface is underutilized, it is starved of refrigerant, so we don't get the full heat transfer opportunity that is there. If we overcharge it, we will increase the pressures and we will overload the compressor, right. So we would undertake a lot of tests to make sure that we have a balance point, we have the right degree of subcooling and we have the right amount of superheat in an optimized system. And sometimes when you're doing the optimization process in the laboratory, we will discover one of the components is not balanced. So we find that we have too large an evaporator or too small an evaporator, and we need to do some iterative work because the predictive value of heat transfer software may not be as good. So that is the final part of tuning the system to deliver expected performance. And I've talked about motors. Now one of the things is to utilize opportunity for motor power saving. So if we drop the fan speed, what will happen to power? It is proportional to cube of the RPM, whereas the airflow is proportional directly to the RPM. So we have an opportunity for reducing fan power when the ambient goes down, keeping the same delta T. So this becomes an iterative and some kind of a process of optimization. So what is the balance point? What penalty of increase in condenser temperature is acceptable for a lower airflow volume? What is the power saving we are getting there? So as you develop the ability to appreciate these design variables, you can optimize systems better. And then DC motors allow for higher part load efficiency, and it is useful in systems like telecom cooling where there is a 24/7 requirement. So with this now I stop for this particular lecture.